Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new season of the Purposeful Life Show with your host, Adrian Starks. I'm excited to share some new updates of the show with you, starting with a new look, sound, and energy, as well as a variety of guests coming aboard with intriguing topics of conversation. I hope you enjoy the new level of energy that will be brought to the show. Thank you for all of your support since the very beginning in 2019. Wow, it's been 3 years already? Because of you, the Purposeful Life Show is now in the top 5% of all podcasts globally, and we aim to get it into the top 1%. Continue listening to the show and share it with others. You can also now listen to the show on my Facebook page at Adrian Starks, where you can comment in real time and communicate with me about your aha moments. Thank you again for all of your support, and let's make this one hell of a year and be purposeful about doing that. Wishing you all much love and success. Have you ever been in a conversation where a person spoke so much you were not even allowed to speak? Maybe you were in a meeting in a boardroom and you had a great idea that you wanted to give to that particular speaker, and you knew that at some point they were going to shut you down. Maybe you're at work and you've been having a great day so far, and this supervisor, some manager, comes around and tells you something that takes you into a downward spiral for the rest of your day. These are all experiences where people get shut down and their music inside of them gets turned off. Maybe you're a leader that's doing this consciously or unconsciously to the teams around you. This mistake will prevent many people from retaining teams, retaining good results, and retaining good relationships. Join me as I help you to see the importance of not turning off someone's music.
Welcome to the Purposeful Life Show on the Connect Now podcast with your host, Adrian Starks. If you're looking for the ideas that could be your breakthrough for change in your business, career, or personal life, then this podcast is for you. Join Adrian as he speaks on topics of personal and professional development for the person behind the business, and interviews a variety of entrepreneurs, business owners, and thought leaders to reveal their ideas and solutions to success and its challenges. Subscribe to the show and leave us a review. It's time to connect, learn, and grow.
Welcome back to the Purposeful Life Show on the Connect Now podcast. I'm your host, Adrian Starks, and let's get another powerful episode going for this week. Before we get started, make sure that you are subscribed to the show and to push that notification bell so that you're notified when new episodes become available. Today, we're going to talk about not turning off people's music. This thought was sparked from an experience I had the other day while going through the McDonald's drive-thru, and I'll explain why I was doing that. It made me think of the quote from Oliver Wendell Holmes, and he said that people die with their music still left inside of them. I also recalled a quote from Dr. Miles Monroe. He said that the richest place in the world is not where we think it is. It is not in the Middle East where there's oil. It's not in South Africa where there's diamonds. It is in the cemetery. It is there where people have died with their music still left in them. The book that was never written, the business that was never started, the speech that was never developed, the music that was never produced. Why would people die with their music still left in them? I realize this happens because people's music gets turned off by other people, meaning they get shut down. They get told not to say something, not to be a certain way, not to feel this way, not to express this way, and that is turning off people's music. I experienced this shutting down of someone's music while I was going through the McDonald's drive-thru the other day to get myself a cup of coffee, and I love my cup of coffee. As I'm coming through the drive-thru, I stop at the window, let my window down. This young lady opens up her window, and she has this happiness and positivity radiating off of her. I could see her smile coming through her mask with the expression of her eyes. She started asking me about my morning. And as she was doing that, I could see her body moving with this upbeat tempo music in the background. I couldn't help but catch that vibe too. As she turns around to get my cup of coffee after we finished our conversation, I noticed this person lurking in the background, which was a manager. I could tell they were a manager by what they were wearing and also their demeanor. This person came in with their arms folded, looking around, and the first thing that comes out of their negative mask, and I say negative mask, is this. So, we're just playing music out here for everybody to hear now, eh? Is that what we're doing? He said it in a very condescending and negative way, trying to control the situation. This young lady begins to get nervous as she's pouring my cup of coffee, looking back at the manager saying, well, the music seems to be fine. No one has a problem with it. I'll turn it down if you want me to. No one has complained about it. And as she's putting my lid on my coffee, I'm thinking to myself that I want to add in my 2 cents. And not 2 cents for the coffee, okay? Because I already paid. They're not getting me. But 2 cents for the conversation, because I felt that what she was doing was valuable to me and I wanted to invest back into her time. As she brings me over my cup of coffee, I tell her in a louder tone so that the negative mask manager can hear her that I enjoyed her music and that I love the fact that I could pull up and hear something very cheerful and see someone that's very happy. I'm going to have a much better day because of it, and my coffee is going to taste that much better. As I take my coffee away, I put my car in drive, I wave at her and say goodbye, and I'm driving off, and as I'm letting up my window, I can hear her in the background saying, see, he enjoyed my music, he really liked my music, and her voice fades as I drive off. She was happy that someone heard her music. Her music was happiness, was positivity. It wasn't just the song she was listening to, it was the expression she was giving. The music that we have inside of us is shown by how we treat others. That negative mask person had some negative music, and he was trying to shut down the positive music inside this young lady. How many people do you know who have their music shut down daily? Maybe it's you. Have you ever been in a conversation where you felt like you wanted to say something but you couldn't because the other person kept talking? They were shutting down your music. Have you ever had an idea that you were excited about? Maybe it was starting a new business or going in a different direction with your career, and someone that you know near and dear to you tells you that it's not possible or why would you do that? That's shutting down your music. Have you ever had a day where you were feeling good about things and then someone does something or they say something to you that literally takes you into a different direction and a downward spiral of self-doubt? That's turning off your music. There's so many people who get their music turned off. I have experienced this firsthand. There have been many times I've had great ideas and people have told me that they're no good. I've wanted to say something and felt like I couldn't say it because I didn't want to step on anyone's toes. I had my music turned off. This experience that I'm sharing with you is important to know, especially if you are a leader in your field. Manager, supervisor, owner, an entrepreneur. If you have a team around you, trust me that you are going to do a lot of things that are going to shut their music off, and you need to be aware of that. This particular manager at this McDonald's thought he was doing a good thing by trying to control the music that she had playing, but what he really was doing was shutting off how she felt about her job. See that irony behind that? He was turning off her way of enjoying the space that she was in. This is very important for us to know as leaders, because when we're leading people around us, we need them. They don't work for us, they work with us. And as soon as you get that understanding, you will start treating the people around you so much better. People don't have to stay with you, they choose to be with you. When I worked in the medical call center for 8 years, I worked on one of the most stressful teams there were. What I'm going to say next is not to impress you, but it's to impress upon you the importance of letting people's music play. My team was expected to have the highest turnover rate because of the stress levels that's associated with the trauma unit. No parent wants to call the hospital to get their child in to be evaluated for a broken limb. No parent wants to call their child in for a surgery or even for a concussion evaluation. These are all dangerous encounters. So imagine the parent calling in on the other line of the phone that has fear, anger, anxiety, stress, worry, all wrapped up into a frantic conversation wanting to know what next. Every day was like that. We didn't know who was going to come through that phone line. I had to find something different to do for my team because I knew that we were going to have these kind of challenges daily. But how could we deal with them? I had to learn about my team, learn about their strengths, their weaknesses, their personalities, what they like, what they enjoy, who their families were, where did they like to go, what did they like to do, because I would allow this expression to happen on my team because during the trying times, we could capitalize on that. If someone wanted to play a certain type of music that made them excited, then I would let them play that. If they wanted to do a crossword puzzle while they were working on a project, I would let them do that. If they wanted to talk about their family life a little bit with me, I would allow them to do that. More importantly, I allowed them to express themselves and to be open enough to trust me. And when your people trust you, they will go to war for you. If you look at historical battles and wars that were fought and won, the generals were not on the hillside yelling, "Good job, guys, keep doing this, keep going over there." They were in the middle of the war with them. As leaders, you have to be in the middle of that chaos with your employees, with your coworkers, with your team, because they need to know that you care. That manager at McDonald's did not care about that person. He only cared about production. Production is necessary, but it's needed by people who can produce it. So back to the call center. When I realized that it was important to understand my team and to allow their music to play, I began to have the lowest turnover rate in the hospital when it came to people working on a scheduling team. I became so efficient at it that the CEO would come down and want to know what was my strategy, and I would tell him the same thing that I'm telling you. I knew my people. I allowed them to be as they were. As long as they were producing and they were giving a good vibe to the environment and to our clients, our customers, our patients, I was okay with what they wanted to do in the midst of their work. I didn't control that. I want to give you 3 things here to take with you as a leader in your field so that you don't make the mistake the guy made at McDonald's. Because here's the reality. If you want to be successful, you need people to help you do that. You cannot do it alone. It doesn't matter how much you know, how long you've been in the industry or wherever you are, you still need people to carry you over the threshold. And they need you to guide them. The first step to not turning off people's music is to allow them to have some fun. Back to the McDonald's situation, that guy didn't want that particular employee to have fun. He thought fun equaled not producing, not working. The people around you can still have fun and still produce quite well. Here's a formula for you. Happy employee equals happier customer. The second step to not turning off people's music is not to force them to think and feel a certain way. Allow them to be as they are. It was Abraham Lincoln who said that people are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. You can't make up their mind for them. That will not make them happy. Here's another formula for you. One of the secrets to happiness is freedom. The secret to freedom is courage. You must have the courage and ability as a leader to not restrict the people around you to be happy. Allow them to make up their minds to be happy in an environment. Allow them to find ways to truly express themselves in a positive way, which leads me to the third step here. The third step to not turning off people's music is to listen to them. Let them explain to you how they're feeling. Allow them to express to you what their frustrations are and what solutions they may have to a problem that you in the past have refused to listen to because you think that you know it all. As a leader, I didn't know it all. I depended on my team to help me find out a lot of the solutions, which gave them the power to feel like they were seen, they were heard, and they were needed, which led to them wanting to stay. Back to that general again. They knew that I would go to war with them. They knew that I would be in the middle of that stressful battle, so they were willing to give their all too. Don't turn off people's music. There are so many people who are surrounding you right now that do have the solutions to the problems that you are trying to figure out. And if you would just allow them to be heard, allow them to be seen and noticed, you would be amazed at what things you can discover when it comes to opportunities. That McDonald's experience was so much better because that person played her music. But I wonder if she will continue to. I don't know. But what I do know is that experience changed me. It made me realize that I need to listen to my music more and I need to help others listen to theirs. I want you to go back and review those 3 steps of how not to turn off someone's music. It is that music that keeps your business going. Remember, a happy employee equals a happier customer.
Thank you for listening to the Purposeful Life Show on the Connect Now podcast with your host, Adrian Starks. Subscribe to the show and connect with us on Facebook and Instagram. Learn more about us by visiting our website at cnbn.ca. Go to connectnowpodcast.com to be inspired by more life-changing content. Let's connect, learn, and grow.